That brings us to the Three Notched Weekly Preview. We're transitioning the Three Notched Weekly Preview from football into basketball. And this week, they're taking on Texas State on Saturday, the 30th, to start Sun Belt play. Texas State, their head coach, Terrence Johnson. The Bobcats sit at 6-6 on the season, but they are 3-1 in December. But two of those three wins are against non-Division I teams. Their one loss was a blowout loss against the best team per KenPom in Houston. And Texas State is 0-4 this season against top 100 KenPom teams. They're 180 in KenPom. They're 194 in net. I'll start with Bennett. What does JMU have to do to beat a Texas State team that really they should beat?
Texas State is pretty sweet if you look at their splits, like big time defense and just no offense, which is hilarious. But it makes it kind of interesting, right? If Texas State can have a good defensive showing and happen to have one of their probably like 5 games this year where they shoot well, it could certainly be an upset. I remember last year during the break, I thought JMU in conference games with a small crowd at home played sort of to the crowd and to that dead energy. So I think if they can... Yeah, I think if they can bring sort of that energy, one of the games might have even been Texas State. I could be wrong. But the energy last year was pretty dead. If they can play at a higher level and just pay attention to what they're doing, which they've had pretty good practice here playing Coppin State and Morgan State. Both those environments are relatively dead. So I think if they can show up and just play the way they've played all year, like Daniel mentioned, they have enough depth that even if a couple of guys have an off night, some others can sort of fill those roles. So I would feel pretty good if you're a JMU fan about the matchup.
Daniel, when you're tuning in on ESPN Plus on Saturday, what are you looking for out of JMU against Texas State?
I will be at the game, Jack, not on ESPN Plus, but thanks.
When you're watching in person.
I expect it to be a game won on the glass. If you take a look at Texas State's rebounding totals against Houston, they out-rebounded them by 2. To do that against a Power 5 team, especially one that's top 5 in the nation, and don't get me wrong, the offensive rebounds, you don't have as many if you're Houston because you're making so many shots. So take it with a grain of salt. But that rebounding battle can be absolutely crucial into the amount of possessions you get and what type of offensive sets you can run, how you can get out in transition. This JMU team, however, thrives with a quick pace. If you let them run up and down the court and make it into a track race, they're going to win 9 times out of 10, or maybe 10 times out of 10 the way the season's starting. So I think that there's going to be a pretty significant first half battle. I would not be surprised if Mark Byington's team takes a double-digit lead in the second half and pulls away.
I love it.